From Inwood in New York City, welcome to Inwood Art Works On Air. It's where you meet the musicians, filmmakers, writers, theater makers, and artists of all stripes that make their home in what we affectionately call Upstate Manhattan. I'm your host, Aaron Sims, and today we welcome local interdisciplinary artists, Jamie and Emily Erekson. Both established independent artists in their own right, but together, Jamie and Emily lead Sabo Arts, an intermediate arts organization creating and producing genre-bending new work. Recent projects include 2 new short films commissioned by Niska, a 65-foot interactive projection exhibit on the Manhattan Bridge, a new ballet for Ballet West, a musical deconstruction of Shakespeare's Richard II at Carnegie Hall, and an upcoming off-Broadway premiere of an immersive musical play in Times Square. We're going to talk to them about their work and so much more, but first, let me welcome you both to Inwood Art Works On Air. Thanks for coming out today.
Thanks for having us.
You bet. So, you are true collaborators in every single sense of the word, I would think. You're a couple raising a wonderful family, if people didn't get that. You're also partners in art, which is also a little more unique, I think. Like any successful couple, though, in a relationship, each has great value. They offer each other and offset each other. So could you share a little bit how you both complement and perhaps admire each other's work and strength as people and artists?
Good question.
What do you say? I'd say she's the first one I run my work by. She's my harshest critic. And so I know if she likes it, then I've got something. If she doesn't like it, then that's the end of it. I remember one time I brought something to her.
Just one time.
Only one time. I still remember it. And it was a new piece that I wrote, and she listened to it, and she said, "Please never make me listen to that again." I was like, okay, maybe that's not the direction that I want to go. But I know that, my work is better when, she gives her stamp of approval.
And I run stuff by him, same thing. And I'm not great with deadlines or actually finishing things. So I'm like, Jamie, help me do this. And he's like, okay, you got to do this in this order. And then this deadline would be good here. And this would be good. Yeah. So
it worked out. And then sometimes a lot of our projects, we collaborate together. And so like the ballet, for example, and it was fun. We just decided, okay, this is going to be, I think it's 7 movements, kind of 7 pieces. And you start on this one, I'll start on this one. We'll take a week and write it, and then we'll switch it off. We'll hand it off to each other and kind of go from there. And so, yeah, it's kind of different with each project, how we approach it, but it's a lot of fun.
Did you guys meet on a project?
We met at, I was studying piano performance, getting my master's degree. Jamie was studying voice.
Yeah.
So we would have time to compose.
Yeah.
So we met at the School of Music.
Yeah, we were at BYU, and I was wandering around the practice rooms, looking for a practice room. And I heard this amazing piano piece. It was Rao Tavara. Anyway, this Finnish composer, and I was wandering around the practice rooms, following the sound. And then I found it. She was tucked away in this practice room in the back, and I just kind of looked at her through the little practice room window, and I watched her for a while.
Not creepy at all.
No. Thankfully, she didn't look up, and then it dawned on me. I was like, this is actually pretty creepy. I
should go now.
So then I left, and then a couple days later, I saw her and asked her out, and yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, the rest is history.
Well,
4 kids later, here we are.
14 years later.
Your best productions yet, we'll
exactly.
say, right? Well, that's pretty awesome. And what drew you to Inwood?
It's a cheap place for artists to live,
Yeah.
but still enjoy all that Manhattan has to offer.
True.
Yeah.
We came out for, Jamie did a master's in composition at the Manus New School of Music.
Yeah, and we were thinking maybe Brooklyn, because, the artists live in Brooklyn, and we went there, but it just didn't seem like the right fit, especially because we had a couple younger, we had just one.
We had a baby at the time.
And then we came here, and it seemed like a great place to raise a family and kind of put down roots.
Yeah, and we love the parks.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a park just across the street where we live, and
yeah.
Well, couldn't agree more. It's a great place to be. You're still on the island. You can get to everything you want to be, and you also have some great artists that live here as well.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of marriage, in your bio, I mentioned projects that largely favor the involvement of marrying music and the moving image from the projects projected in live arts. How do each of you develop your own voice and style of storytelling?
Still working on it.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a work in progress.
That's a great answer.
I feel like sometimes there's like, oh, this really worked out. This process was really fun and worked out, and you kind of roll with it and then move on to another process. I don't know. I feel like it's different for me each time.
And for me, I think venues are a really big deal for me. So maybe even before I kind of have conceptualized the project, I think of the architecture and the space that it's going to be performed in, and then that helps me decide, oh, what type of like would moving image be good, or is it just dance, or is it just music? So that's how I start a lot of times. I try and get an opportunity in a space that I want, and then work from
Pretty
there.
site specific.
Yeah.
That's very much how we have worked at the Inwood Art Works, you know, through creative partnerships, and we've talked a little bit off camera about that too. Is like, you know, we walking around the neighborhood and you see like, you know, a building or a space, you're like, wow, that'd be really great for like a pop-up art gallery, or perhaps like, you know, a pechacucha or some kind of projection or on a wall of some kind, a great big wall. We've, you know, it's really, and I will say this, it's, sometimes necessity is a mother of invention as well, right? It's like this is all the space you have.
Yeah. This is the budget that you have.
This is the budget. This is the amount of time you have in the space and the time of rehearsal to get things done. And so you have to make artistic, you know, go through the process, right? And what that process leads you to. But no, I bet I could tell. It's like, it's funny how, you know, the image and the music keep being married. It seems in a lot of your projects, which makes sense with you both, actually. Is there? So we talked about like kind of like styles in a way, but are there any overarching like themes or questions that you find repeatedly going after in your work or continually exploring?
I feel like for me in like some of my personal work, I'm just kind of curious a lot about just kind of the psychology of people. And so I'll outsource and then kind of weave together people's responses. So it's like part journalism, part sound collage, part psychology experiment.
It's kind of like interactive sound installations, like in a gallery type thing. Yeah.
Cool.
That's something pretty cool. With me, something that we read a book that was really influenced my work the past couple of years. It was I'm a Strange Loop, Douglas Hofstadter, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, but he talks about the I and what is identity, kind of a thing. And that's something that's really influenced. I think our projection piece that was on the bridge, that's very much exploring kind of the porous nature of identity.
Well, he talks about too, like, it's like, where do you stop really and the other begins, you know? And so that's a piece that involves pieces of all sorts of people put into one like self-portrait.
Yeah, it's an interactive online installation where people can go and add their own photo, and then it creates a composite image of other people that have added their photos, and so it's this constantly cycling kind of. We see it as this kind of this mosaic, this self-portrait type of thing of outsourced selfies, and
continually evolving.
Yeah, and so that's something. This idea of the liminal space between self and other, you know. So I think a lot of our work kind of lives in that space. In some of my more recent work, a play that is in development right now. Called Felix and the Scotch Hoppers, that's kind of built around this installation that we created. So we created the installation, and I was like, okay, now I want to write a play that's built around this installation, so we can have it projected on the side of the theater, and then inside we'll have characters that are like building this creation. And that I tried to really reflect this idea of like the diffusion of self through language by having the different characters speak in each other's first person. So it's kind of like a narrative that's fractured among different characters. So yeah, those are some things that we've been thinking about recently, and you know, we read more books and think of more things and write new projects, weird stuff around the city, you know.
Yeah, well, that's great, because like I just feel like a lot of artists sometimes, like for instance, like picking Edward Albee for a second, always wrote, you know, many people say that he always writes about the baby. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And then, Beckett's always, it seems like, who am I? It's
love me some Beckett.
after that.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? And so I was just curious as young folk as yourself with so much to live for as well, and when continue to keep asking questions. But it's interesting finding patterns in people's work and seeing what you go to. And I find it really interesting the fact that you had such success with the projection image on the bridge that you want to take it a step further to for something that could be more tangible for people and explore. Keep pushing the idea further down the road and see how, again, contextualizing it with living, breathing people instead of on 2D.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Very cool. So you guys are, of course, as we discussed, very much independent artists and interdisciplinary in your own rights. But you decided to create a company called Sabo Arts. So I'm just curious, what led at the decision to do that? Because you could have been working on your own, doing your own things, but you wanted to put it all under one roof. So what brought upon that?
I feel like part of it is just wanting to be organized. We do so much together, and then so much that's like, what is it? Is it a play, or is it like an interdisciplinary art visual? I don't know what it is. So I feel like we just kind of needed a core, even just a name. So like as we perform, we're Sabo. Whatever we do together is Sabo. And
I feel
we also teach together. We've had a studio. We've been running a studio for, I don't know, I've been teaching for like 20 years, and anyway, it just kind of made
you're
sense.
Only 21. How's that possible?
It's a miracle. I think, and for us, I feel like community is really, really important. And this was a way for us to kind of be like, okay, we want to build something, but we don't want to build it by ourselves. We want to bring in a community, and we want to build something together, with our collaborators and with our community than we ever could just by ourselves. And so it seemed like this was the way for us, because we're here for good, and we're doing all this stuff, and we have a vision for, we have a lot of projects in the works, but we can't do it by ourselves.
Right.
And we want to tap into this amazing community of artists. And a big part is the interdisciplinary projects we have going on. And then another part is the teaching, where we do a lot of our teaching in our studio on 4700 Broadway, but also in the LDS Church just off of Dykeman. And so we use their space, and something that we're looking forward to happening is we use the space on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and we have just amazing artists in the community that are teaching. So we have
there's so many that we just run into all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just rich up here with
Broadway
amazing
performers.
artists from any genre. Yeah.
Yeah, we have we have the actor playing Cedric Diggory and James Potter, who's giving a acting workshop there. On Saturday mornings we have, the one of the best flutists out there. She was just ended her tenure as part of the Ensemble Connect at Carnegie Hall. These people just living in our neighborhood, giving them a space to come and kind of give back to the community. That's something that it's going to take some time to build, but that's kind of our vision, is like people can know, oh, Wednesday afternoons and evenings, Saturday mornings, I can go to this space and there's going to be an animation class by Annie Poon, who has an animation in the MoMA, and she can help me with that, or I can take this acting course, So we, it'll take some time, but we really see it as an opportunity to build something that really lasts.
I love it. And anything about bringing community together is I'm 100% in favor of.
Yeah.
And like we've talked about before, it's this community is so rich with artists.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's about giving them license and a place to play.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's great. That's fantastic. Well, I appreciate you talking about the educational aspects. What projects do you guys have coming up? I believe we've mentioned a couple of New York State Council on the Arts supported films. Mm-hmm. So what are those?
So they're 2 short films, I think about 5, maybe 10 minutes long. He's working on one with Davey Erekson, his brother, and then I'm working on one with Annie Poon. the animator you mentioned.
Yeah, she's done some really cool work for PBS, Nickelodeon, and everything, and so they're working on that piece that should premiere next
End of September.
Yeah. At the festival.
At the festival.
Yeah, so
Yes.
that was my next thing.
Yeah.
So the idea is to not just have a place for a community to take classes, but also to do some public-facing programming.
Yeah.
Right? So we talked about Inwood Art Works and Sabo combining forces for an outdoor film screening nights of local artists, which would be awesome. And so we're details to follow, folks. Don't go crazy. Give us some time. It's not even Christmas yet. No, but it's really it's wonderful to anytime we get local focus on local artists premiering their work. And so I'm looking forward to putting that out there. And so details to be determined, but and dates and all that stuff. But it'll be really, really fun.
This guy also has an off-Broadway show coming up February 2027.
That's a big project
So
that
tell
we're
us about
working
it.
on
Yes.
right now. Yeah, we got a great team together. Emily's the music director, so she can keep me in line, make sure I'm writing good stuff.
What about this song? I hate it. Don't ever show it to me ever again.
Well, and we'll be performing it as well as Sabo. So it's a show that's a play with 15 lullabies that I've written. And so there are 5 actors and kind of movers, and then 2 musicians, which will be me and Emily as Sabo, performing as part of that piece. And we got a tremendous director, Shadi Gahari, on board, an amazing dramaturg,
Kristen
Perkins at Columbia, and Haley Fragan at Here Arts, creative producing. And so we're really excited about it. It's going to be a site-specific piece.
At St. Mary's.
At St. Mary's Theater. It's right on 47th Street. So it'll be immersive. It'll be kind of headphone theater for parts of it. Audience members will be wearing headphones.
Some sound art collage
stuff. It's gonna be like
gallery.
Yeah. So it's gonna be one of those pieces where it'll be hard to put your finger on like what exactly it is, which tends to be what a lot of our work is anyway. But it's a lot of work and a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Well, I as you know, I have a theater background, and I'm all about it. So I will be there with popcorn.
All right.
If you sell popcorn. If not, I'll bring my own. That's awesome. And do you have any major project? Well, that is a major project, but he's shepherding that, and you're MDing. Do you also have a major project you're working on in the not too distant future?
Let's see. So the short film with Annie Poon, that's a major one.
Yeah.
Also trying to finish up an EP.
It's really cool.
Thanks. It still has yet to be finished.
Well,
I
don't believe she asked you. I remember.
She doesn't ask for
She's
my
asked
advice.
you, and I see how this goes now. For the first question.
What else am I working on? I never can think about it. Oh, a fun little Christmas sort of collaboration. I recorded my kids reading the Christmas story, and I'm going to piece that together. Some other things. Can you remember? I can't remember unless I'm like working on it.
We're kind of different artists in the fact where I kind of focus in on like 1 or 2 projects really hardcore, and Emily has like a list of 30.
I have a long list of things that one day I'll get to, but
Everyone has their process, right?
Yeah.
How they work. Well, we look forward to those projects and more to come from Sabo Arts. Where can we send people to find more about those projects when they do happen?
Yeah, you can go to our website, saboarts.org, or just sabo.org. Both work.
There you go.
And we're going to try and get better at social media.
Yeah, we're going to try
really
to get on
bad
there.
at it, but we'll probably have
have to do it.
social media presence, maybe.
Well, and you'll have this to share.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, about that. Well, listeners, you can find the link to that on the description of this episode, okay? So, Jamie, Emily, appreciate you taking the time coming out. Is there anything else we want to talk about we haven't covered?
This was great. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah,
great.
thanks for having us.
My pleasure. So again, thanks to Jamie and Emily Erekson for joining me on this Artist Spotlight edition of Inwood Art Works On Air. Again, it's where we meet the musicians, writers, theater makers, and artists of all stripes who make their home here in Inwood, NYC. If you have a moment, please show us some love right now on social media and rate and review this podcast, 5 stars, whatever podcast platform you're listening to. We greatly appreciate it, or YouTube. Many thanks to the Church of Good Shepherd here for hosting us, and to heightsites.com for uptown promotional support. Hey, you can support On Air, by the way, and Inwood Art Works, any of our programming, but go to inwoodartworks.nyc/donate. It's 100% tax deductible. We greatly appreciate it. Be sure to follow us on our social media channels, which to keep up with all that we do, which includes the Inwood Film Festival, Filmworks Alfresco, pop-up art galleries, live performances, and so much more. Inwood Art Works On Air is proud to be supported in part by public funds from the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs in partnership with the City Council, and the Inwood Art Works programming is made possible by the New York State Council on the Arts with the support of the Office of the Governor and the New York State Legislature. From the top of Manhattan and the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Aaron Sims for Inwood Art Works On Air.